reason you're saying that this reeks of white privilege is because you're seeing the end result and you're seeing the final product, okay? That's it. You didn't see anything before when I was successful. I grew up not wealthy by any means. My dad was not a successful entrepreneur until I was around 22 years old, basically graduated from college, okay? I went to college. I didn't have a computer. I didn't have a car in high school. I had to go to the library to do all of my homework. I had to buy my own car to go to college, which was a literal piece of shit. GNC Jimmy, look her up. She's cute. Also, no, it has nothing to do with white privilege. It has everything to do with how I was raised, and I had to learn the value of a dollar at a very young age, okay? My parents did not give me anything unless it was earned, okay? You want $5 to go get some ice cream? What are you gonna do around the house? Are you gonna go mow the lawn? Oh, well, I need $20. Okay, you can mow 2 lawns. I was taught so young that you had to do something in order to receive money, okay? What does that instill within a child? It instills work ethic, okay? When I turned 15, I got my first job because all of my friends were rich around me. My parents couldn't afford the Uggs, the North Faces, the coats, the everything that I wanted, the Victoria's Secret leggings. Heaven forbid we don't have 35 pair like everybody else. I had to get a job at 15 because my parents could not afford those things. I worked that job until I was 22. I also had 3 jobs in college.
So let me bring y'all up to speed on what's happening. This woman posted something about she couldn't work a 9 to 5 or something like 9 to 5 as a scam because she's a CEO now. And I don't even think it was any longer than like 5 to 10 seconds or something like that. But then she gets comments in there, unwarranted. Don't know what it has to do with race, trying to figure out how it became a race based conversation. But she then gets a comment from somebody that says basically it's because she has white privilege. And this is how you know that white people have now become the enemy of most people inside of the United States of America because they are using them as the benchmark, right? Because most white people, similar to what she is describing, is living a normal life and or they are stuck in, poverty or middle class or whatever. The majority of people that I've seen that were complaining about food stamps on the internet was white people. And so I'm trying to figure out where is this white privilege when it comes to work ethic and putting in the work in order to become the CEO of your company. They fail just like everybody else. I'm trying to see where the correlation is so we can solve for this race issue in this victim Olympics. Most people fail at opening up a business. Most people fail when it comes to doing it a second time, a third time, and then ultimately they may make it, and some people make it on the first or the second time, but it don't even mean that the original concept, its inception, is the same as what the finished product is. And a lot of people are just saying that it's white privilege, white privilege, or whatever, so on and so forth. Let's say hypothetically that every single person had a strong, that was successful, had a strong father in their life, didn't necessarily had a lot of money, which this is what the majority of what success looks like. Most people that become successful or most millionaires do not come from money. It is not inherited. That is one of the biggest myths. It is created. Millionaires, billionaires, people that wind up becoming super successful, a lot of times they are created. They are born and work their ass off, but they have core lessons that allow for them to be super successful. A lot of wealth is fumbled that is inherited because a lot of these kids are coddled and it's not passed on from a generational wealth perspective. That is one of the most overused terms. Generational wealth and everything is racist and white privilege is one of the most overused terms that you've ever experienced in your entire life, which I'm glad that people like her are starting to address some of these problems and these narratives and the assumptions that everybody grew up a certain way. I don't even think that it's conducive or that it makes sense for people to have to prove that they've been through the ghetto. Man, what I would love a little bit of nepotism. I would love some nepotism. My daughter won't go through the same thing that I went through. So if you then come to her and say, well, that's because your dad had money or whatever, Your dad worked his ass off, worked my butt off, and I put in the work on a regular basis so that she then has a better opportunity to be great than I am, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I love the fact that, my daughter won't have to be raised in a hood and run from fucking pit bulls and all of this stuff. And so when I see this woman, and she say, listen, I put in the work or whatever, so on and so forth. The fact that people have to qualify themselves because they are on social media, which is one of the reasons why a lot of people, and again, I've been saying this to y'all, why a lot of people, they say that wealth whispers. No, it doesn't. It's very loud. You just not aware of it because they don't want to deal with your foolishness because you come with the assumptions that everybody didn't get it out the mud or whatever, so on and so forth, or because of some level of white privilege. When white people come up to me and because I'm a conservative and I'm an open conservative, and so they may not necessarily know my background or where I'm at in life, and they tell me that I am under duress, and in a lot of instances I'm doing a lot better than them. That is the funniest thing that I've ever heard in my entire life.
That paid for everything that I needed. Then when I graduated from college, I worked a 9 to 5 for 6 months, realized that wasn't going to get me anywhere. Also had my money in my stock account working for me when I was 18 because I saved every single penny I made in high school, besides like your little rinky-dink things that a high schooler would want to buy, right? I didn't have rent. So I saved all my money, invested it into the stock market at 18, had that money working for me. Then when I went to my 9 to 5 and realized, this isn't for me, left, became an entrepreneur, thought outside of the box. I already had two things that going for me, okay? I knew how to save money and I knew how to work my ass off. So combine those two things together, okay? We have success. So did that, saved all my money, kept investing. Oh, whoop, turned that into 6 figures. Then busted my freaking ass off, waiting tables, busting tables, working at restaurants, extra side hustles, creating a successful business, doing digital marketing, doing content on the side, because heaven forbid I sit down and watch TV, watch a movie, or relax because, if I'm awake, there's always money to be made. So white privilege is a little off, okay? Hate to be so aggressive, but you came at me first, so you asked for it. But I just hate the stigma of this reeks of white privilege, okay? Has nothing to do with white privilege. I was not raised with money. I've owned 3 cars in my life. Every single car I've owned, I've bought with my own money. And that's about it. Like, my parents just taught me the value of $1, and they taught me how to get my ass up off the couch and go to work. So I would say it reeks of discipline, it reeks of self-worth, and it reeks of work ethic. I would say it reeks of work ethic. You have 2 choices in this lifetime, okay? You can either get your ass up and you can go to work, or you can be lazy and choose to sit around and blame everybody else for why you are poor and why you have not made it in this world.
Let me add in a third one. You also, along with going to work, have to be disciplined enough to not increase your lifestyle to whatever it is that you're making, and then maintain it long enough to actually have it work for you so you have that principle that allows for you to really be able to grow.
Those are your 2 options. I chose the latter. I chose to get up every single day. Yeah. I chose to work my ass off and make a life for myself. So heaven forbid, I just happen to be white.
Yeah, I'm that's old. And let me also say something else. It doesn't help you. Just because you want to, you surfing the internet on your Obama phone and you pick a white person and say, oh, you're only successful because of white privilege and that's all you know about them, that doesn't actually help your circumstance. You should probably look to them and try to figure out how they did it so you can implement it yourself and then have some similar success for yourself, hopefully, if you got the work ethic to come along with it. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Teach Henley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. I love you. I appreciate you. Don't run in the Victim Olympics.